Yes, when I took the job with them, I was aware of environmental issues, and I'd already been involved with Friends of the Earth as a volunteer for 2 or 3 years, but I needed a job, so I took the job. And the job basically was customer service for a large charge card company, and involved moving money around every day, hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds, switching it from one account to another, checking through people's accounts, and you'd have accounts for like quite famous people who'd gone out and blown, one case I think it was £1,500 on a meal for a few friends, and picked up the tab and put it on his card, and he paid the bill, it was no problem, but I was always astounded at the level of spending of some people. And while I was doing the job, I was there for 4 years, it became more and more clear to me that we were moving money around every day, but it wasn't actually money, cash, it wasn't banknotes. You couldn't see the money, you couldn't touch the money. It was all electronic stuff on a computer, and it made me start thinking about the concept of money, how money exists, what is money, why do we have it? And I guess I continued my involvement with environmental campaigning through Friends of the Earth through all the time I was working there, but later on it drew me much more when I was working on sustainable development issues into the whole stuff about economies, let schemes, local exchange trading schemes, where you don't use money, you create your own currency and you trade in buttons or acorns or whatever you call it, so we don't charge interest, and it doesn't matter if you go overdrawn. But it made me question the whole concept of money, about the fact that money doesn't exist. Not really. It only exists because we all believe in it. There are some aspects of global finance which are okay, but on the whole, global finance and the financial systems in this country are all predicated on trade, about people and things moving around, and use of resources. So even though the money's virtual and moves around electronically, which isn't hugely environmentally damaging, apart from the creation of the equipment, etc., the actual resources and things that the money is being used to buy and to move are all the things that are environmentally damaging, whether it's buying more goods, paying for transport, buying flights to fly wherever, all of paying for a holiday in a foreign country. All of those things have environmental impacts, and that's what people use their credit cards for. Because having been out of the environmental movement for the last 2 years and coming back into it, I can now see where things I was working on 2 years ago have gone, and they have moved on, and they are changing, but they're just changing so slowly that when you're involved in it, it's very frustrating. That it doesn't move fast enough.
Right.
You can see where you want to be, and you want to have pedestrianised towns and better rail services, but they're not going to happen for the next 10, 15 years. And we're coming up for Rio plus 10.
Right.
If we'd have done all the things that were highlighted 10 years ago at the Earth Summit, if we'd have started then, if they'd have really put their backs into it and really made some changes then on climate change, on resource use, then we'd be in a much better position now, and we'd be well down the road to being sustainable. But they haven't even really started. And that's partly why I dropped out for 2 years, because I just got so depressed and got to the stage where I think a lot of people get to, thinking, well, it doesn't matter what we do. We can go home and recycle our papers, and we can get 1 or 2 other people to do it. But in general, it's all too little too late. And the whole thing's like climate change. We can lessen the impacts of climate change if we act now, but we can't stop it. It's too late to stop it totally. So whatever happens from today, there is going to be climate change. It's just a matter of how much, what degree of change, and that's quite frustrating.